What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, back here for another update video. Today we'll be reacting to Harry Kane's interview on Sky Sports with Gary Neville.
Yeah.
Quite a lot has been said in it. It was quite an open interview, wasn't it?
Very open and honest from Harry Kane.
It was 5 or 6 minutes long. If you want to watch the full interview, I think it's on the Overlap channel.
No, it's going to be on the Overlap channel tomorrow, but it's on the Sky Sports News website right now.
Right. I think it is on the Overlap channel right now. I think it's uploaded already.
Okay. Well, they said it was going to be uploaded on Friday. It said on the thing that was released on Friday.
I've seen some links going around, but anyway. So let's get into the quotes and then we can kind of react to them.
Yeah. We watched the interview earlier, but we'll go through the quotes now for people who haven't seen it. The big quotes I'll go through now in terms of it regarding his future of the club. He says, "I don't want to come to the end of my career and have any regrets. I want to be the best I can be. I never said I would stay at Spurs for the rest of my career, and I never said I'd leave Spurs. People might say he's desperate for trophies and he needs trophies, but I still feel like I've still got almost another career to play. I've got 7 or 8 years, kind of what I've already had in the Premier League, so I'm not rushing anything. I'm not desperate to do anything." He then goes on to say, "I want to be playing in the biggest games. This season I'm watching the Champions League and the English teams doing amazing and their games, and I want to be involved in. It's a moment in my career where I have to reflect and see where I'm going at. Ultimately, it's going to be down to me, how I'm feeling and what's going to be the best for my career." He then went on to say that he's going to obviously have a chat with Daniel, an honest conversation with Daniel Levy to see where they're at, and clearly he wants to go. He even said it's not here, but he even said that maybe Daniel will want to sell me. Maybe he'll think, if he can get 100 million for me, then why not? I'll sell you, and I'm not going to be worth that maybe for another 2 or 3 years' time. So maybe Daniel Levy might be willing to sell him. So all depends on how those conversations go, I guess. But it was a very open and honest interview from Harry Kane. He also said, "I'm not afraid to say I want to be the best. I want to try and get on the level of Ronaldo and Messi got to. That's my ultimate goal, to be winning trophies season in, season out, scoring 50, 60 and 70 goals season in, season out. The pressure the pressure from myself, it's always bigger than the pressure anyone else can put on me."
I mean, look, I don't think it's anything new, because I think that we've known that he's been wanting to leave, for quite a while now. I don't think that's anything new. I think what's new is just how open he's being about it, how he's openly saying he's going to sit down with Daniel very soon to talk about his future, talk about the club's future. But also, from what I got from that interview, is maybe that he's not actually that desperate to leave this summer, where he's desperate to leave. He's desperate to leave, but maybe not it's this summer. Maybe it could be next summer.
Yeah, well, when he says, the only thing that points to that when he says, people say I'm desperate to win trophies and stuff, but I feel like I've got another career to play. And that's what I've always said about Kane, in terms of, yes, he's 28, and some people fear that once you hit 30, you start declining and stuff like that. But I just think Kane isn't that type of player. I really believe Kane could easily go into his mid-30s. Look at Lewandowski now. Look at Ronaldo now. In terms of maybe, in terms of how their longevity, exactly, Zlatan, their longevity feels like they can go on forever. And I honestly believe Kane could be easily 34, 35 and still be banging in the goals.
It's not like he's the paciest guy. He doesn't really rely on pace for his game.
Exactly.
It's all up there in the brain with Harry Kane.
There's always being a step ahead of the opposition in that way, and I always feel like he's got those attributes. So if he does, I even said this, even if he does stay for Tottenham for another 2 years and moves at 30, he could easily have 5 years at a top club winning trophies and be there. Not saying he's going to be here for another 2 years. I'm just saying it's possible. However,
it's just the case that the quicker he goes, the quicker he can start winning trophies.
However, it does feel like with Tottenham now, being 2 seasons out of the Champions League, very likely to be out of Europe altogether now next season, or even in the Conference League, which is pretty much nonsense. It kind of seems like he might see now is the time to kind of reassess things, see where he's at in his career, and think, look, I've given a lot of years of my career to this club. I haven't got anything in terms of trophies or silverware to show for it, and I think now is the time. And also, when he said, you're gone.
No, what I was going to say is when all these rumours broke about that he's already got this gentleman's agreement with Daniel Levy and what have you that he had from last summer, saying that he gives Tottenham one more season and then he'll leave this summer, that doesn't really seem like that has happened. It seems as though he's gonna sit down with Daniel Levy now. It doesn't seem like they have. I mean, obviously we don't know what happens behind closed doors, but from what that interview says, it doesn't seem like they have had that chat already.
Yeah, it doesn't get that. It doesn't come across that way, does it? I mean, obviously he wouldn't be saying on TV. I don't think anyway that he had that agreement. But like, I feel like if he did, he might be more confrontational in a way. Like he might seem a bit more angry or something. I don't know, because if he had an agreement that could potentially be broken, he might approach it in a different way. But the way he's talking about it doesn't seem like there is a gentleman's agreement in place. But I don't know. Obviously, we don't know. But I do think it's fairly interesting when he says, "I don't know." He says, "I mean, Daniel might want to sell me. He might be thinking if I can get 100 million for you, then why not? Do you know?" And then he says, "I'm not going to be worth that in the next 2 or 3 years." Do you think Levy? Do you think Harry Kane is right when he says that? He says in the next 2 or 3, obviously in 3 years' time he's going to be on a free. But when he says maybe next year or in 2 years he might not be worth 100 million.
Well, look, in the case of it, he's not signing a new contract at Tottenham. He's never going to be signing this new contract at all. So the price will go down from now, and because his contract's going down. So now you're going to get the maximum price for him. Next year you're going to get a bit less, and the year after you're going to get extremely less. So it's all about which team is going to stump up that money. Is anyone going to stump up as much as Daniel Levy wants this summer? Or is it going to have to wait till next summer where he is a tiny bit less?
And maybe I might be reading too much into it. But
Most probably.
But when I say he says in his quote, "I'm not going to be worth that for the next 2 or 3 years." He doesn't say I'm not going to be worth that next year.
Yeah. So I think you are reading too much into it, because next 2 or 3 years is the last year of his contract.
He's 3 years time it'll be on a free.
So exactly in 2 years that'll be within his last year of his contract.
Exactly.
So obviously he won't be worth as much as he is now or next year.
Yeah, but next year he will be.
Yeah.
So
next year he won't be as much as this summer. But
it'll
still be a high
100,
fee.
Still be 100 million, I think.
Still be,
depends.
Excess.
I guess depends if he gets another injury next season, and he's ruled out for another 3 months. It could devalue him.
He more or less had an injury-free season this year, didn't he?
He did. He had one injury.
It was
just
out for
before
like
the cup.
3 games.
It was just for the cup final. We all feared he might be out for a while, but he was only out for a game. I think it was just one game. So he has pretty much had an injury-free season. So you got to say, from that point of view, that's why his stock has never been higher in that
and
sense.
Obviously, the season he's never been better as well.
Exactly. In terms of goals scored in compared to the rest of the league, and then the assists as well, and just consistency has been very, very strong. So in that sense, his stock has never been higher. Do I feel like Levy will see him getting 100 million and then this summer and thinking that'll be enough? Probably not. I want more than that. So,
but the reply from Gary Neville is 100. I think you better add a 2.
Exactly, that's what Neville was saying, which is absolutely right. And also Kane was saying, he feels like he can get even more higher numbers than he's getting right now, and he feels like he should be aiming for 50, 60, and that's definitely for sure. If he goes to a team, he could easily be a Lewandowski where he just sits in the box and just gets chances laid on a plate for him easily.
Mm-hmm.
It's that could easily he could do that job so well. For sure, you could do that for years and years and years. So, I think judging from that interview, yes, we all know he wants to leave. Does this interview tells me he's desperate to leave this summer? No, but definitely he's going to look for a route out of Tottenham. But whether it happens this summer is obviously the question still at large. And I don't think from that interview, it doesn't seem to me that he wants out of this summer by any means necessary. Basically, but he definitely wants out. We all know he wants out. It's clear to everyone he wants out. But whether he's willing to do whatever it takes to get out this summer, I don't know if that's the case.
But at the end of the day, this is the facts of the matter. He's either leaving this summer, or the next season is his last season at Tottenham. Those are the only 2 options on the table. Mm-hmm. The only 2 options. And however much we talk about it, however much we speculate, it's so difficult to take. I don't think we'll ever be affected as much. I think this will affect us more than any other player leaving Tottenham in our lifetime. It really will. Gareth Bale, yes, that affected us big time, but I don't think it's going to be any sort of level to what Harry Kane is. Harry Kane is the life and soul of this football club, in terms of on the pitch, in terms of playing staff, in terms of people that are employed by Tottenham Hotspur. He is the heart and soul of this football club. He epitomises what it means to be a Tottenham Hotspur player. He came through the academy, top goal scorer in North London derbies, top Premier League goal scorer for Tottenham. He was going to break Jimmy Greaves' record if he stayed. Sure. He was going to be the top Premier League goal scorer of all time. He'll still go on to be the top Premier League goal scorer of all time. I mean, this guy just has so much about him, and it just kills me. Just pains me that we just can't match his ambition on the pitch. It really does. And, Daniel Levy and Enoch, this is all down to them, because all we needed to do was kick on at the peak years of Pochettino, and this would never have come about. This would never have come about. He could have achieved his ambitions here.
He even said, this is a quote I've just been tagged in, 4 years ago, he said, "My goal is to play my entire career only for Tottenham." That's what he said 4 years ago.
I don't know if that's a real quote, though.
Is that not real?
I don't know if that's a real quote, because Harry Kane in that interview just now said he never said he would stay at Tottenham for the rest of his career, and he never said he would leave Tottenham.
He never said he doesn't even say here he's going to stay at Tottenham. He says my plan is to stay at Tottenham, which it will for the rest of my career. But obviously, given that we're progressing and stuff, it doesn't mean like if we're in the Championship we're going to stay. But but I'm saying, I even think now, if we're progressing and we're playing well, I think even if this season we got Champions League for next season, I don't think he would be picking up as much of a fuss and saying I want to leave. But the fact right now is, look, we're not even getting Champions League, like the bare minimum. We're not even getting Europa League. We're not even getting these bare minimums, which would satisfy a top player like Kane. We're not even hitting those targets. So, what is there to stay for at the moment?
Do you think that we heard that when Jose got sacked, he told a lot of the players these home truths, and apparently he spoke in length to Kane and Højbjerg and Son and stuff like that. Do you reckon that's playing on his mind, coming from a guy like Jose?
Possibly. Look, we know he was very close with Jose. He was a big fan of Jose Mourinho. He played some of his best football under Jose, and he must have been looking when Mourinho was sacked 6 days before the cup final in the mess that he was sacked, and thinking this club is just a joke.
Shambles.
We had a top level manager. Yes, maybe we could be doing better as in the season. Of course, it didn't go to plan, but we did at the end of the day have a top level manager, and we sacked him in the most ridiculous circumstances possible, showing him no respect. And what does that say about the club and where we're at? And it just shows the Kane this club ain't serious and is not ambitious at the moment in terms of where we're heading. We're just an absolute mess. And just to clear up the quote in terms of what he was saying in terms of his conversation with Levy, he says, "I think there's definitely a conversation to be had. It's a moment where I have to reflect and have a conversation with the chairman. I hope we have a good enough relationship after 16 years. I hope that we can have an honest conversation." And he did go on in the interview to say how he does have a really good relationship with Levy, and that Levy's always been fair with him, and always, whenever he's been playing well, he's given him pay rises and constant new contracts, and he's never he's never told Kane, you sign this contract and I'm going to pay you this and I'm not paying you anymore. He has always given him consistent new contracts and pay rises, but at the end of the day, when the club is going the direction it is, it's just not enough to have those pay rises and stuff. He has to be at a club whose ambition is to win things and not just to have a good bank balance, and at the end of the day, that's not Spurs at the moment.
I tell you what, though, that it's really refreshing to hear a player like that come out and speak so honestly, because when you cast your mind back to the players that wanted to leave us in the past, Modric, Bale, Carrick, Berbatov, all you got was silence and refusal to play. That's all you got from these players. And Harry Kane, he's not refusing to play. He's not doing anything like that. He's coming out, speaking honestly. And that's what Harry Kane has done his whole career. He's always spoke honestly. Cast your mind back 4 years ago with that interview with Thierry Henry. He said it plain and simple and black and white. If this club is not progressing in the right way, I will leave.
He's a man of his word.
Yeah.
He's a complete man of his word. He said it for us. There's no secret. He's literally said it plain and simple a few years ago. It hasn't happened. And now he says, I want to leave. It's just that's just the natural progression of it.
He said, within 3 years, if I still haven't won a trophy at Tottenham, I'll have to consider my options.
That was 4 years ago.
Exactly.
That was 4 years ago. So there you go. It's just no secret. So it's completely open for everyone to see. But also, judging from that interview, that also tells me it is possible he does stay another year with the option of him going next season for 100 million. So whether he leaves this summer or not, he wants out now. Well, where he leaves this summer or not is still very much open to see if anyone stumps up the cash. It doesn't seem from that interview he's going to make a fuss and say, I want that and I'm going to down tools and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, that's natural to happen, possible to happen if to down tools naturally if he wants to leave and stuff, or if he does know he's leaving next season, blah blah blah. But it's still very much in the balance whether he leaves this summer, given that he does have 3 years left of his contract and all that kind of stuff. So even after that interview, it obviously makes it crystal clear for everyone who had any lingering doubts whether he dev wanted to leave. It makes it clear that at the moment, Spurs isn't satisfying his ambitions.
Look,
and
I don't think anyone had lingering doubts about his thoughts, but I think the doubts are just about if he goes this summer or next summer.
Which are still there, I think. Even after that interview, it's still there.
And I stand by what I said. I've said all along that I still don't think he's going to leave this summer. I think 3 years left of his contract. Levy and Tottenham hold all of the cards right now.
So I guess we're in for a long summer of rumours and all these kind of things. And it's going to be a whole what you call it, saga this summer, isn't it?
It's going to be a saga for the next 12 months, isn't it?
Yeah, because I think in previous windows, obviously there's been a few little rumours, but I've never really been worried about it actually happening. Obviously this summer it's a real possibility. Yeah. But again, it depends if someone stumps up the cash.
What's your gut feeling telling you?
My gut feeling is telling me he is going to stay another year, just because the circumstance. I don't think will allow it for him to. I think he's just going to be the victim of circumstance.
Yeah, and you never know. The market could really open up next summer as well.
Yeah, I feel like next summer. I think the price will be about 100 million, and I think someone will come up with it if he does have another good season, depending on if he gets an injury or not. But look, someone might surprise us and stump up the cash and then he'll leave. It might easily happen and then we'll see what happens, but right now it's very difficult to see someone stumping up over 100 million for him.
Yeah, and that's the facts of the matter, and that is our reaction to the very honest Harry Kane, very refreshing Harry Kane interview today on Sky Sports with Gary Neville. If you want to go and watch that, go and watch it on the Overlap channel on YouTube right now or on the Sky Sports website. It's there right now for you to see. That is our reaction. Let me know your reaction in the comment section below. Do you think he is going to stay one more year, or do you think he is off this summer? Because those are the only two options on the table right now, unless he does stay and Spurs have a miraculous season next year and win the league.
Well, I tell you, wow, Europe. Then you never know. But ain't going to happen. We're not winning the league next year. Look, the problem is, it's not a couple of players. We need major surgery and a new manager, and so we need to acclimatise to a new manager's way. So, unless we get Conte, who's used to winning a league in his first season, then it's not going to happen.
All right, well, that is our reaction. Like I said, let me know your reaction in the comment section below. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.